Hello guys, welcome back. In our previous video, we saw how to use the built-in functions in Python. So in this video, we'll try to create our own functions. Okay, great, right? So for this great thing, I don't want to use this console, and I'll be using this code area to write the code. The reason is console is just used for one-line operations and one-line code, and that's what we did till now. But today, in this video, we'll be starting writing code in the code area. Great. So what function shall we define? Okay, let us define the cube root function. What is cube root of 8? Cube root of 8 is 2. So actually cube root is some raising a number to the power of 1 by 3. Right. Cube root of 8 is 8 to the power of 1 by 3. Cube root of 27 is 27 power 1 by 3. So we'll be trying to define that function. So for defining a function, what is step 1? Step 1 is you need to enter define def space and you need to give the name for the function. I'll give cbrt, and here in this brackets you need to enter the parameters. So what the users need to pass to this function so that this function gets executed. So they need to pass a number. That's simple. So you can put anything over here. It's just a number to tell the user properly what they need to enter. Or else I can enter a chocolate or a biscuit also. There's no problem there. Yeah. And next you need to give a colon here. You can see a colon and then enter. Here you can see 4 spaces or 1 tab of space. So the reason behind this is the indentation. You need to give a proper indentation for defining a function. And in this indentation, following this indentation, you need to write the purpose of this function, or you need to write what this function needs to do with the number, with the parameter. So what I want is to take, I'll just make it taking a variable and assigning what number to the power of asterisk asterisk to the power of 1 by 3. So 1 by 3. Enter, or you can write it there itself, but to make it look a bit beautiful, or to make it look a bit hierarchical, I'll enter the return statement in the next line. Return result. So what this return statement does is it just returns what is present after the return function. So I need to run this to execute it. So I need to rename it. I'll just rename it what cube root function. So cbrt function, and I'll say it on my desktop. Okay, save it, and okay, and I'll just test it out. Now if I enter cbrt and open the braces, you can see what are the arguments that need to be entered, and you need to enter a number. So what is the number? Let us say it is 8. We know cube root of 8 is 2, so we got 2 back. Now if we enter something called cbrt of say, I'll just not enter and I forget to enter, and I'll close. It is telling cbrt is missing one required positional argument called number. So you need to enter that positional argument called number. So I will enter cbrt of say now 29. It must give me 3 point something. Yes, 3.07, because cube root of 27 is 3 and for 29 is 3.07. Great. And we saw with this function, and let us view this function in our visualizer. came to know what is visualizer in our previous videos. So I'm defining cube root function, and I'm taking a variable and storing the cube root of the number in that variable, and I am returning that variable. It's as simple as that. You need to take the number as an argument, cube root it and store it in a variable and return that variable. I'll visualize. And next, so it's just executed in one line. Now I'll enter something more here. CBRT of say 20, done with it, 64. And another variable I'll define of add is equal to CBRT of 125 plus, okay, I'll do something interesting. You can do that here itself. CBRT of, okay, I'll do 125. I can write it as 100 plus 25. And I will add something to it. I will add CBRT of, okay, before that I will do something. Num is equal to, I'll give 64. Okay, so I'll come here and I'll enter num. So what I did in this code is I talked about defining. Okay, that's great. Next, CBRT. First I took one, I called this in one function in just a single line, CBRT of 64. Next what I did is I created a variable called num and I assigned the value of 64 to this num. And next I created another variable called add and I assigned the values of sum of two values, CBRT of 100 plus 250 and CBRT of num are assigned to this. Now I'll visualize. So first line execution is going to be done in one step actually. So CBRT of 64. So this number is equal to ID2 in the sense 64. Now 64 so ID2 refers to 64 and ID2 64 refers to number. So this number actually goes here. CBRT of number is equal to CBRT of ID2. CBRT of ID2 is CBRT of 64. It is first done, it read the def function. Next it created another variable result and it also took the value of cube root of 64 by raising it to the power of 1 by 3 and result now refers to 4 and now it is going to return the value called 4. Done. Next this has got executed. So for this getting executed, it need to go back here, do these things and again come back here. Now num is equal to 64. It created a variable called num. And next add also it didn't create. The reason is first the assigned value gets gets simplified or gets run or gets executed and later this value is assigned to this. So first the right side or the assigned or the the expression that needs to be assigned is first executed. So CBRT of this is going to be executed. So yeah, you can see same thing and now add is created as a ID7 11.0473. Okay, that is the way we'll create a function. So let us go back to notes. In the notes I gave another function. So okay, let's start from the beginning. So what is defining a function? Function definitions. The general form of a function definition is this. I told you. First define, you need to give a space, then name and then the parameters, colon, a tab space here, and then you need to write the body. Okay, and yeah, this is what I wrote here. Next, the terminology. Define is a word that tells Python that we are defining a function. That's it. And a function name is a function name. Parameters are, the comma separated values, or the comma separated values, which may be 0 or more than 0. And okay, we know these all things. Body is a statement that often ends with a return statement, as most functions are used for returning a value. For example, in this function x square, to find out x square, we are defining a function of f of x such that what f of x does is it returns x square. That's it, as simple as that. Next, return statement. How should we use a return statement? We should use it as return, a space, and an expression, that what it needs to return. Rules for executing a return statement. First, what happens is it evaluates this expression. Okay, it evaluates this expression and simplifies it, and later this value produces a memory address, as we saw in the Python visualizer. It gives some id 4 or id 7 or id 6 something, and this this id is returned to the caller or the user, returned, and then the function got exited. And function calls, how to call a function properly. Function name, and you need to pass the arguments to call that function. That's it. What are the arguments? That will show you in the pop-up, and you can do that. What happens inside the system when something is executed, a function is executed? It evaluates the arguments. It means it brings these arguments to the simplest value. It brings them to the simplest value, and later that simplest value is stored in a memory address. That simplest value is stored in a memory address, as we saw some memory addresses, say for example id 4 or id 7. So you need not worry, these are just for your understanding, they are not actually id 7. Okay, just for simplification purposes. And okay, that is stored, and this stored memory address is executed in the body of the function. This is executed in the body of the function, and it is going to do whatever the body says. That's it. And example here, I used a triangle function, triangle area of a triangle, voila. So area, base comma height, and what it is going to do is it is going to return base times height divided by 2, because area of a triangle formula is what, half into base into height. So how to save, we saw that. So that's it in this video, guys. In the next video we'll move further.